The impact was a brutal, fleeting explosion of white light, followed by a profound, echoing darkness. Task completed. A mechanical, emotionless voice resonated within the void. Absolute obedience verified until the point of death. Initiating transfer protocol. Distributing financial compensation. I didn't feel relief, nor did I feel triumph. I felt only a hollow, lingering exhaustion. The torment was over. The game was finished. But as the darkness began to swirl, shifting into blinding colors, I heard something I hadn't expected. The system's voice returned, carrying a strange, almost curious static. Anomaly detected. Residual emotional tether remains. Proceed with transfer or expend compensation to witness the immediate aftermath of user 847's termination. Warning, this action is non-refundable. I hesitated. I had spent 3 years breaking my own mind and body to escape them. Why would I want to see what happened next? But a dark, bitter curiosity gnawed at me. I wanted to see the masks fall. I wanted to see if the blood on their hands would finally stain their pristine lives. Expend compensation, I thought into the void. Show me. The darkness shattered like glass, reforming into a hyper-realistic, ghostly projection. I was hovering above the hospital courtyard. Down below, my broken body lay contorted on the pavement. The crimson pool was spreading rapidly, soaking into the pristine white lines of a parking space. Calvin, the scream tore through the air raw and unhinged. It was Regina. She burst through the ground floor exit doors, stumbling over her own feet. She collapsed next to my body, her designer clothes instantly soaking up the blood. Her hands hovered over me, trembling violently, too terrified to touch the mangled ruin of my head. No, 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 she babbled, tears streaming down her face, cutting through her perfect makeup. Calvin, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. We were just scared. Wake up. Please wake up. For the first time since she had betrayed me, her grief looked genuine. But it was too late. It was always going to be too late. Mom and Dad spilled out of the doors next. Dad's legs gave out halfway across the courtyard. He fell to his knees on the concrete, staring blankly at my body, his mouth opening and closing without sound. Mom let out a high, thin wail that sounded less human and more like a dying animal before collapsing into a dead faint for the second time that day. Then came Callista and Tyler. They stood a few feet back. Callista's hand was clamped over her mouth, her eyes wide with shock. But Tyler wasn't crying. His face was pale, yes, but as he looked down at my shattered corpse, a fleeting, almost imperceptible smirk tugged at the corner of his mouth. He had one. The biological son was dead. The inheritance, the family name, Regina, it was all his. Or so he thought. Step back, everyone, step back. The paramedics, who had been rushing toward the scene, finally broke through the crowd that had started to gather. They checked for a pulse out of protocol, but the grim shake of the lead paramedic's head confirmed what everyone already knew. System, I thought. Fast forward. Show me the fallout. The world blurred, spinning rapidly like a fast-forwarded film reel. Days bled into weeks. I watched my own funeral. It was a grand, hypocritical affair. My parents wept openly. Callista stood stoically, leaning on Tyler. Regina wore a black veil, refusing to speak to anyone, her eyes hollow and dark. But the real show started after the dirt was thrown on my grave. The scene shifted to the sprawling low